Deadpool, good to have you here. Kraven is basically a remake of the Rob Schneider movie, The Animal. I mean, you're not wrong. Now that you said that, that's kind of what it is. Yeah, this movie, Kraven the Hunter, has more in common with Rob Schneider's 2000s era comedy film, The Animal, than it does with Kraven the Hunter from the Spider-Man and Marvel comic book series. 100%. There's no question about that. Wow, what an amazing comparison. Incredible. I'm gonna put that in the review. Oh, we're gonna let the spoilers fly. I am gonna be gushing spoilers all over you guys in just a bit, because this movie doesn't deserve to be seen in the theater. Save your money, save your time. Now, in terms of the spoilers, there's really only, I spoiled a lot already, but there's two big spoilers I left out. It's at the end of the movie after they kill Rhino, who just dies by getting trampled by CGI water buffalo. The big twist of the movie is, so what kind of starts all this up is halfway through the film, the Kraven's brother, who becomes Chameleon, Dimitri, he gets kidnapped by the Rhino. And the reason why that he gets kidnapped is because the Rhino wants to take over Russell Crowe's territory, and he also wants to capture. Really what he's doing, he wants to bring Kraven the Hunter to him, and to kind of throw him off his game, if you will, by capturing his brother, because Kraven the Hunter has obtained this list of evil people, and he wants to kill all the evil people on his evil list. And so, they say in the movie, once you're on the list of Kraven, aka the Hunter, that's it. He's gonna kill you or whatever. And so the Rhino's like, I need stuff to find him. And so he gets sent randomly. He gets sent like a UPS package, a little USB of Kraven, and he finds out Kraven, aka the Hunter, is actually Sergei Kravenov, the son of my rival. All right, cool. And so I'm gonna try to eliminate him. Well, it turns out, chat, that the Rhino, he was even a bigger dumbass than we could have ever imagined. He got played, because this was all a ruse. It was all a trick played by Kraven's father, Nikolai Kravenov. Instead, he wanted to use Kraven to kill all of his would-be enemies, and he was actually the one that sent the footage and revealed the identity of Kraven, aka the Hunter, to the Rhino. And Kraven confronts him, and it's like, why did you do that? Because you are a hunter. I made you what you are. We are the same. You are the same. Dimitri is okay. He lost finger. He's doing all right. He's, how you say it, chameleon. But I love you, my son. We will build criminal empire together. And Kraven's like, no, I don't want to do that. Instead, I'm going to be like Vince Vaughn. and this is a hell of a reference, chat. He's going to pull a Vince Vaughn from Jurassic Park, The Lost World, the Jurassic Park 2. So remember that scene when Vince Vaughn removes the fucking shells from the gun of the expert hunter that's sent to the island, site, I think it's Site B, in the movie, and then inevitably endangers all these people, and the T-Rex causes mayhem and kills a bunch of people? He does the same thing. He removes all the ammunition from the guns where his dad is camping out and he's hunting like animals in northern Russia. And so Kraven's like, I'll never work for you, Dad. He doesn't have an accent, by the way. He speaks a little Russian, but he just sounds like Aaron Taylor Johnson. Just sounds like carrot. Sounds like potato, a root vegetable of some sort. And Russell Crowe just fucking panics. It's like, oh no, I don't have bullets. And this CGI bear comes out of the woods and eats his ass. Just tears his ass apart. Leo DiCaprio style. Actually, I wish it was that good. It kills him out. But all you just see this fucking huge mass, and I'm not referring to Russell Crowe, chat. I'm not referring to Russell Crowe. But you just see this huge furry mass just come out of the fucking woods and bah, just hits Russell Crowe and starts ripping out his entrails. But yeah, it was a reveal. It was Kraven's dad. I just wanted my son back, and I wanted to use you to kill my enemies, despite also endangering everyone else, including myself. And then the last thing the movie establishes is the chameleon of it all. So the thing that the movie does is that's a little different than the comics. I'm not against this idea, actually, to be fair. is that they really established that Sergei and Dmitri, Kraven, aka the Hunter, and Dmitri the chameleon, they love each other. They're like on really good terms. Like, Kraven, like when he's not, vacationing with the animals and, eating his vegan meals, he comes like to Dimitri's birthday every year and they fucking hang out and they just talk and they just do that, for however many days, a week or something, right? And they just established that they're just really good. Well, Dmitri has a psychotic breakdown, I think, happens off screen. And he's like, you know what? I went to New York City and I met with the doctor, who's the Jackal from the comics, who turned Pollux Troy into the Rhino. I met with him and he turned me into a chameleon. And so they show in one shot, because he's been able to do Tony Bennett impressions the whole movie and stuff, like just impressions of singers and things. It's so fucking lame. And he went to New York and he got experimental surgery that where his face kind of turns into the chameleon's mask, and it's all CGI and it looks awful. It's even hard to describe. It's like if you took a golf ball and you mixed it with like the gray head aliens. That's how I would describe the chameleon's look. And it pops up for like a minute and just goes away, but it's like, oh my God. And he's like, I am going to be even more evil than my father. My empire will expand the globe and you're my enemy now, Sergei. Or should I call you Kraven, aka the Hunter? And Kraven's like, no! And then Dmitri tells him, oh yeah, Dad left something for you at the house. You should go pick it up. And so then Kraven, aka the Hunter, goes to the house which is being sold, but there's this one box. that good old Russell Crowe, good old Nikolai Kravenov wanted to give his son. He's like, you are more like me than you think, and this has been a part of our family for generations, and now it belongs to you. And he takes it out, and it's this. It's Kraven's uniform. It's the lion pelt. So apparently, like, Russell Crowe was Kraven the Hunter? He was. I mean, he acts like more like him. It's either like he's had this for years and he can't fit in it anymore because he's very round, or it's the lion they killed early on in the film that gave Kraven his lion powers and shit. Any case, he then sits down in the chair like you see there. He looks at himself in the mirror and he's like, I'm hot. He's like, I'm sexy. Look at this fucking six-pack. Look at these abs. And then the movie ends. I don't know if there's an end credit stinger. I highly doubt it, chat, but there you go. That's Kraven the Hunter for you, chat. And I was not Kraven. And it's sad. It's sad again. This movie is just the last dying gasp of a failed cinematic universe. And Sony and the people associated with this film and Tom Rothman and Avi Arad, they should be ashamed of themselves. They don't have any shame, though, so they never will feel that way. But my God, the very least we can do is bring up their names and shame them like I'm doing right now. And I encourage you to do that, too, because this movie is absolutely wretched across the board, outside of some unintentionally funny things, especially the awful unintentionally funny things Ariana DeBose says. Take away her Oscar, please. But that's my review of Kraven the Hunter. What about you guys? Did any of you guys see Kraven the Hunter? Are you craving it? For those who did see it, did you love it? Are you crazy? Did you love it? Were you mixed on them? You're like, there was something I liked, something I didn't. Or did you hate it? Did you hate Kraven the Hunter? Let me know. What about you guys? Biggie Smith with 100 B's. I think you liked it, guys. That lizard man has no shame. He really doesn't. Oh, man. He should have been the chameleon. Yeah, you could easily play him. Don't need any makeup. Oh, my God. Motherfucker got revented by the bear from Puss in Boots. Yeah, he's straight up dead. He's like, ah! You hear him go, ah! Let them fight. Watch Russell Crowe fight a bear, which sounds great on paper. And I would have loved to have seen that, but he just gets taken out quick. He can't run very fast anymore, Chad. Again, he's at a mean waddle now at this point. Nikolai need a moped. I would have saw. Can you imagine if he gets on his fucking moped and goes, me? The bear fucking chases him down. That would have been great. He needed a mobility scooter in this movie. I wonder if Doctor was referring to was Morbius. No, I think it's the Jackal. Because I think I would have heard like Michael. Plus, why would Michael Morbius then be turning people into rhinos? That's the one thing. But no, I think it's Miles. I forget if it's Miles Warren or Warren Miles. And he's the Jackal. I remember from the comics. I was like, oh, Jackal reference, weird. And he doesn't show up. He's just referenced several times. And I'm like, okay. And then you see the Daily Bugle and shit and all that, but it's like, whatever. What a description. So Kraven brother becomes Rango. Kind of does. Yeah, he's Rango. Not as charming, though. Not nearly as charming. That's so Kraven. Or my friend there was no... Yeah, there you go. Not surprised. That is definitely a I clap moment or Sony level attempt at least. Yes. Oh, 100%. Kraven ends its bloopers from the cinematic universe set to Green Day. That'd be amazing. Thank you, Biggie, for the 100 biddies. Oh, man. Christopher's like, no. It goes without saying that was an absolutely terrible Kraven the Hunter movie, but if you look at it as a serious attempt at a remake of The Animal, yeah, I know, we mentioned that, with Rob Schneider, it's still dog shit, but it's the most fun piece of dog shit I've seen in a while, especially since I went with my friends. We had a blast making jokes. Oh, yeah, this is an easy movie to make fun of. It is that. I think this movie is more unintentionally funny than Madam Web, which... I think personally, it's like, that makes it a little bit better, but at the same time, I can see people saying like, no, this is the worst. And what I can also see makes it the worst is because Kraven the Hunter is actually a really good character. Like Madam Web, as I said in my review months ago, I'm like, I don't fucking care about Madam Web. I've never liked the character. She's always been weird and odd. Even when I first saw her in the Spider-Man series, like, what is this? Even as a kid, I was like, oh, what are we doing? Kraven's like legitimately great. And they butchered him. Like, they butchered him so thoroughly. And that's the thing, as I said years ago, I was afraid they were going to do. And my fears came true, Chad. Like Kraven's fear of spiders for whatever reason. Ariana DeBose has been having a post-house Cupid. She is just... I don't think she's a good actor. I'm like, I don't think you're very good. I think they got to take that Oscar. It's like, all right, shame. You got to drop that Oscar, girl. It's over for you. I was like, my Lord. Aaron DeBoe has been having I just read 100%. 100%. Homies, thank you. This was me walking out of the theater and oh, man. Take a look at that link in a second. Oh, you're like the hyenas laughing. Yeah, you were. 100%. Yeah, no doubt. Deadpool the 200. Man, we got a level 1 hype train. Thank you. Thank you. Ariana DeBose in her Ryan Reynolds pre-Deadpool phase. Oh, my God. Yeah, she needs something or she's not going to work again. Aaron Taylor's The Animal in theaters this Friday from South Park. Video killed the radio star. Kraven killed the theater project. It really did. There was no stinger. I got up as soon as the credits started, so I don't even know. Apparently, there's not. If there is, please correct me. But I really don't know. I wasn't gonna stick around for it. His line, my grandmother died. I love that. That's my favorite. That might be one of my easily top 3 favorite lines in the entire film. That line killed me. I was like. My grandmother died. I never saw her. Yes, that's usually what happens. You don't see the person that died again. Unless, and I'm not making excuses for the movie, believe me. Because they keep emphasizing this. Because Calypso's she's not like mystical or anything. Or like really indulges in creating like potions and shit. She just has it. She has like Deus Ex Machina potion because she says, yep, I don't have any more potions. And apparently she's been making this shit anyway at her apartment in London. But anytime their grandma's brought up, she always brings up, oh yeah, she was very powerful and very mysterious. Some people called her a mystic and she could see things other people couldn't. I'm like, are you implying that maybe you've been able to communicate with her, since then? And that's why she says, like, I never saw her again. I was like, why do you say that? It's like she's like covering the fact that maybe I wonder if there's legitimately a scene where her fucking grandma comes back Obi-Wan Kenobi style. I think that might happen where she sits down with her grandma in somewhere in Eastern Russia like Luke Skywalker does of Obi-Wan Kenobi in Return of the Jedi after Yoda just died. But it's just such a weird thing to say. So yeah, it's a hilarious line. That got a big laugh in my audience of 6 people, including myself. Worse than he was in the Amazon my mom when she was researching Sparta. I mean, that's an all-time classic. That's like the people were making fun of that when the trailer hit, so it's hard to beat that, or it's Morbid type, even though it's never said in the movie. But it's up there. Bishop Sycamore, thank you for the 500 biddies. Woo! Thanks for watching that crap. I appreciate it, guys. Hey, I think you guys actually have paid me back because the ticket cost $10. You know what I did? Chat? I cheated a little bit. When I went to go see the movie, They have options, you can pay adult ticket, kid ticket, obviously senior citizen. And I'm like, well, I'm not a kid, I'm not a senior citizen yet, an adult price. But they have a student like college discount, and I still have my college ID, and I'm gonna pull that shit out. And I got $2 off my ticket, chat. I paid $10 to see that movie instead of the usual $12, and I think you guys have paid me back, so appreciate that. I was like, I'm gonna use this more often for bad movies. Casey, yo, Chris dropping by. Don't announce second 8. One best fighting game of the year. Nice. Let's get the Game Awards. And Metaphor, one best RPG. Very good. I was the first one out. Plus, it was because I'd been there so long. I'd been there 3 hours, more than that, really, when you count the previews and stuff, which was like, ugh. And so I was tired. I want to get home, and the things I want to work on got delayed, and then I started my stream late because of all this. So I was like, let's go. And then I want to get my reaction up. And I want to do this review for you guys. So I'm glad I was able to do the review. Believe me, I want to do more tonight, but I am tired. The Stinger was making you watch the whole movie again. No, been torture. Oh, man. My favorite line is Rhino yelling, Kraven. He does yell Kraven. He does, Kraven. He does say that. Yeah, that's true. And then he dies. He's so lame. The movie makes you miss Paul Giamatti. I am the Rhino. He doesn't even say I am the Rhino. He just says, I call me a Rhino because I am the Rhino. Yes. Oh, man. There's no way to say that line without sounding like a dumbass. Yeah. Also, Clive's coming as guest character technique. Oh, that's nice. Oh, Vaughn 2 could do it. Why the fuck not? Yeah, true. Rest of the ones I had was pretty solemn by a lot of the coughing. Oh, yeah, what sums up everyone's having a coughing fit when the Sony logo comes up. Oh, sure. You see the Pox guy again, the Brutalist. Man, that guy's not a good actor. I'm not a fan of him. I was a student once. Reported. Oh, no. Oh, man. So they didn't check if the ID was still valid. They didn't. I flashed, and they're like, all right, cool. They didn't care at all. I loved it. I still have that thing. Yep. And they're like, all right, that looks like you. Because I've maintained, because even in it's my graduate ID. So I look pretty close to the way I did when I was still going for my graduate degree. And I still had my beard and everything, too. And so it's like, oh, okay. So, yeah, it worked out. So instead of paying 12, I paid 10. Oh, man. Runs through bedroom to dig through church. Yeah, find your old college ID. Like, you could still get away with it. I was thinking, sadly, my college ran out at my last year. Oh, no. That's too bad. Do you want to go see if I can find it? Yeah, no, I recommend it. I don't know if all theaters do that. The theater I go to is Evo. And they do that policy, which is really nice. And so I was able to, and for new releases, too, which was great. You could wait all day, cheap tickets view theater. Oh, no. I mean, that was the cheapest. Well, here where I live, the theater, they have like $5 Tuesdays, but I think it has to be a movie that's been out for at least a week. I don't know if they do it for the most recent releases, but you've been out for like over a week, then on Tuesdays, every movie is $5. But then I'd have to wait until Tuesday to review Kraven, and, I want to be part of the conversation, get the review out there and stuff. So, I went to a matinee, and the matinee was $12. I was like, fuck, man. But I was able to, subtract 2, which was nice. That was good. I'm just going to write off my taxes anyway. Oh, worth it, Chris. Yeah, you know what? Listen, as bad as this movie is, and my God, it's bad, I knew while watching the film that doing this review was very fun, and I do hope you guys enjoyed this review. Like, listen, I love reviewing great movies that I just, like, I gush about, I'm so passionate about. There's been well over a dozen movies that of this year that I've just been like saying like, oh, I love this movie. You guys should see this, and this is great, right? But there is just something about seeing such a wretched bad movie and then just going right into it, like cutting right into it, chat. Like, Kraven did to that little fish that didn't want to die. But Kraven's like, I'm sorry. It's just something fun about that. It really is. I have to admit. Kraven made me you'll be tired after the movie. It's long. It's 2 hours. It's no reason to be 2 hours. And I feel like there's stuff cut out of it, which probably means it probably was longer, the original version. Oh, man. No more Sony checks for me. Oh, definitely. Oh, my Sony checks. I don't think they ever sent me one. After everything I've said about them, never. Too tall, hard hands. Good to have you, by the way. So you didn't question all the gray hair? I don't have gray hair. It's the lighting. It's blonde hair. God damn it. It's not gray. And it's a graduate ID too. It's like a graduate college ID. Especially given I've had resting alt face since high school, so I don't look that different. I was like, wait, yeah, exactly. So yeah, same. Because I had a beard throughout all my college career. I've just maintained it. No, my Rico name used to do that too, and it applies to any movie. Nice. Bishop, my local theaters, $5 Tuesdays. Oh, so there you go. Okay, so yeah, love my local theaters for that. No matter how recent, just not Fathom events, still the extra pretty cool. We love the music. It's just fun. It's fun. You know, you're adding Kraven the White Savior tier list, aren't you? I guess so. He does save Calypso. I mean, she saves him. Technically, she saves him first, though. She saves that little white boy. She's like, I don't know why I'm saving you, but I just feel like I have to. And then that potion mixes that lion blood and boom, superpowers. That's how it works, baby. Oh, man. Oh, Christ. So best picture getting for you? Worst of. This is definitely, at this point, I can safely say that Kraven the Hunter is definitely on my top 10 worst movies of 2024. I'm not going to say where it is, but it is on that list. There's no question about that, along with Madam Web. Venom might, I don't know. I feel like I've seen a lot more worse movies. Like, Venom is bad, as you guys know. I don't like Venom 3, the last dance. I forgot the subtitle. But it's better than Kraven the Hunter and Madam Web. I will give it that. And I think there are worse movies. An honorable mention? Most certainly. But yeah, Kraven and Madam Web are worse. Oh, it's Grave a bald spot. No. I can't waste money on movies I know are going to be bad anymore, but I'm fine watching them get roasted. Yay! Hope Marvel can bring a new Kraven MC. That you bring up a good point. Have him fight Black Panther, Spider-Man, Red Devil. You're absolutely right, Deadpool. I think it would have been awesome if they brought in Kraven. Can you imagine if Kraven the Hunter was in Black Panther? Or in like Black Panther 2 or something like that. I think I had an idea for a Black Panther sequel. This was back when Chadwick Boseman was still alive. Where it would have been Kraven would have been the main villain. Because I like it when Marvel heroes, and just heroes in general, share villains. I think it's awesome when, I don't know, for example, fucking Batman goes up against Lex Luthor, or Superman goes up against the Joker, right? It's like, it's interesting because they normally don't do that. It's like, oh, this is kind of cool how they're doing this, right? And I think having Black Panther go up against Kraven would have been really interesting, you know? There's a lot you can do with that. But I agree. I am hoping that we will eventually get a new Kraven the Hunter. Not Kraven, a.k.a. the Hunter. Sergei Kravinoff, a.k.a. Kraven, a.k.a. the Hunter. Such a fucking ridiculous thing. And then he actually goes up against like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, because I think that'd be really cool to see. My fear is that because of this movie, that this character is going to be put on ice for like a long time. And it's not the character's fault at all. It's the people that made this movie. And that disappoints me because I'm worried that Kraven's going to become like a joke now. You know? We'll see. But I agree with you. I think, oh yeah, against Daredevil, that'd be awesome too. I'd love that because he has fought Daredevil in the past. He has fought Black Panther in the past. That'd be awesome. When are we doing the triple feature Watchmen, Morbius, Madam Web, and Ford Brody, Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, 2014 Godzilla? Oh, God. He's and that's another role that he was so dull in. I'm very mixed on him as an actor. Sometimes he's good, and other times I'm like, Jesus Christ, you have the charisma of a root vegetable. You know? And here, some people are saying he's great. I don't understand that person. I mean, you know, whatever. We have different opinions, but I'm like, okay, I don't see this, but sure. I don't know if we can do that. The problem with Morbius and Madam Web is that they're so boring. You know, it's just hard. And I also think Godzilla 2014 is boring too, to be perfectly honest. And Kraven, it's also boring. It has more unintentionally funny moments. And some of the delivery of these actors, it's like something out of like The Room, like the way that they talk to each other. Like, you see that with Pollux Troy. He feels like he went to the acting school of Tommy Wiseau. Ariana DeBose is like, Jesus Christ, you could be a supporting character in the next Tommy Wiseau feature film. Like, maybe Kraven. I don't know. I got to think about that. But the other two, it's rough. Like, I was, like, because I waited a long time. For those that don't know, I didn't see Morbius when it was in theaters. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it until finally it was on VOD, and I pirated it. And I watched it that when I did audio commentary for it, and I was hoping the way people were just like fucking mocking it in Morbin time, I was like, oh, it's going to be really funny. It's so bad, it's funny. And it's really not. Outside of maybe a couple of times where it's like, that was pretty funny, it's just dull, right? And that's the worst thing you can be. Like, you can be a bad movie, but if you're doing stuff and it just makes me laugh, unintentionally funny, then that's great. It's like the bad movies that Master Pancake riffs or MST3K or Riff Tracks riff, like those are classics, right? Those are fun. But the worst thing you can be is boring. That's the cardinal rule that if you break it, then it's like, oh my God, there's nothing to you. Shockma! Shockma. Yes, we do. We absolutely need we need to reboot. Let's reboot Spider-Man, the Sony Spider-Man universe for 90s TV shows where Kraven was apparently a tabletop RPG fan playing a game with his friends in lockdown, chemistry building, and a fucking crazy baboon went apeshit, ate a bunch of people's faces, and Kraven defeated, and he became the Hunter. He's like, that's the true game, the biggest game. The true hunt begins. That'd be great. Do you think they're going to put Kraven back in there so can bomb again? That'd be so funny. Doubtful. People are going to be roasting it this entire week, which would be very funny. People are already saying it's Kraven time and all that. I'll say this for him, as opposed to the last few Sonyverse movies from the trailer, it seems he's actually trying to play a character, not just falling back, and this is a shtick that I do in every movie. Aaron Taylor Johnson? I feel like he just his shtick is, I think in a lot of things, is just kind of, I'm just a guy. I'm just a generic action man. Like, that's kind of his thing in a lot of stuff. Like, his character in Godzilla is very similar to his character here. You know, there's no charisma. And listen, you need to have charisma for big blockbuster films. You need to sell it. Like, even if the big blockbuster movie or whatever it might be is, okay, maybe it's not like the story is like so radically different. You've never seen something before, but you got to have charismatic characters to sell this thing. You got to have people that you enjoy watching them and doing all their crazy things, whether the action scenes or their one-liners and stuff. And they try to do that with Aaron Taylor Johnson. He can't fucking do it. He can't do it to save his life, at least in this movie. Now, again, you can be the greatest actor in the world, but you get a shit script and shit direction, give a shit performance. But I've noticed this consistently with him in a lot of things, and I'm just very mixed on him as an actor. And now I'm hearing he's in Nosferatu, and I'm just like, oh boy, I hope Robert Eggers wrote some good shit for him. Really do. Really do. He's better than Jai Courtney, who has the charisma of a Ford Fiesta. I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. My girlfriend drives a Ford Fiesta. I call it Snorbius for a reason, yeah. Madam Web, I got last out of the logical and technical issues at least, yeah. Oh, sure, some goofy shit. Yeah. Look, he'll make it up for us in those. I hope so. I really do. Let me do something really quick, chat. And then we'll pin an end to this review. Excuse me. Like I said, I would do a much longer stream than I would have. But I got out of the theater very late because of everything that happened. And that was very, very annoying. Let me just do this really quick, and then we'll be good. No, not that button. No. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Oh, Lordy. No. No apologies. I thought it was just funny that you mentioned a Ford Fiesta at the car. No apologies. That was a funny reference. I was like, oh, yeah. It's a very little car, by the way. It's super, super small. I'm like, my knees are up to my chin when I'm in it. I can't name a single good Jai Courtney performance. Boomerang. Captain Boomerang. Listen, regular 2016 Suicide Squad is a terrible movie, as I've said, and I've talked about it at length. He's actually one of the good things about it. He's good as Captain Boomerang. And in his brief role in The Suicide Squad, he's like, yeah, he's good as this character. But you're right. Outside of that, everything else, terrible. But I was like, he's got charisma there. It works. Just him playing just a piece of shit. just a scum sucker of a human being. Or not, even if he is boring Nosferatu, Willem Dafoe. I know. You got Willem Dafoe. I mean, you have a hell of a cast. You got Willem Dafoe in there. You have Nicholas Hoult, who I'm always happy with. He's a great actor. Even Nicholas Hoult, like, he's one of those guys where even if the movie's a piece of shit, and believe me, he's been in some shitty films. I mean, you had funny enough Renfield, another vampire film. Not a good movie, but he was good in it. He was doing the best that he could. Just didn't work out. Him and Nicolas Cage, when it was about them, it was actually quite good in their relationship. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, with that, chat, that's all I got. Kraven took everything else from me. Oh, as it did for somebody. Yeah, the thing that Kraven took from all of us is time. Just a little bit of time. But at the very least, I was hopefully able to provide a very entertaining review for you guys. It was very fun to talk about. I will be getting this up on my YouTube channel tomorrow morning, so check it out in case you missed the broad strokes. Madam Web level? Yes, Glee. Yes. Thank you for the 100 bays, good sir. It's just as bad as Madam. The only thing that might prevent it from being just as bad is that I think it has a few more unintentionally funny moments than Madam Web. But in terms of everything. It has all the same problems that Madam Web does, which is crazy. But I guess that's when you know it's a Sony film. They all have the level of consistency. They all feel like remnants of the past. Like, they feel like the worst of those late 90s, early 2000s superhero films. They just aesthetically, the way they're lit, the way that they're shot and edited, the CGI feels like from that era. The stories, just how they interpret these characters. It's so weird that they just all feel that way. It's like Sony is making superhero films from 25 years ago. I don't get it. It's really, really bizarre. That other guy is also being the Wolfman. I will say this about him. He's the least bad out of everybody. Probably because he gets the least amount of screen time. And even though his power is kind of like lame, it's like nothing he gets the whole, like, I have this fucking thing I made, this nightmare toxin or whatever, makes Kraven experience his greatest fear, which apparently is spiders. But he's the least bad, because no one's good. But I think it's just because he has the least amount of screen time. He says the least. He pops up occasionally, and he's mostly in the third act, I would say. And, he kicks Kraven's ass until he gets a fucking arrow through the eye. So, yeah, Katrina the Hunter. That sounds good. I would not want Katrina to hunt me down. That'd be into me. I'm on her list. That would be bad. Oh, my Lord. I wouldn't stand a fucking chance, chat. It'd be over for me. Oh, yeah, he's in Poor Things, too. Yeah, he's good. He's good. He's got charisma. I'm like, this guy's got charisma. I totally forgot he's in, yes, he plays, well, I don't want to spoil Poor Things, because it's a really good movie. But, yes, he does a good job. Now, even to this day, I cannot believe that Madam Web is... Me too, man. When it was announced, I'm like, why? Madam, why? I was like, but she just kind of sucks. She always has. I've never understood... Again, Sony was going to make an Aunt May movie. They were going to make an Aunt May movie back in the day. Of all the Spider-Man characters they could adapt and do something interesting with, and you know what? They could have, but they just didn't care. They just want to make a quick fucking buck. They want to capitalize off the success of the Tom Holland Spider-Man films that I'm sorry, but those are Marvel Disney proper movies. Those are not Sony films, okay? And everyone's saying like, well, what about Sony's animated Spider-Man films? I've said this for years, and I had this confirmed relatively recently, earlier this year. Sony did not know what they had with those movies, that first film. And that's why that's why that movie turned out as amazing as it did. Okay? Because they were not that expensive. It was made for like $100 million, which was, drop some fucking spare change compared to the budget of some of these other live action films. And they left them alone, right? And that was confirmed by one of the animators on the movie that I know, who said that's exactly what happened. They just kind of let us do our own thing, and Phil Lord and Chris Miller and the directors and things, they had creative control over it. and were able to pretty much do what they wanted. And it wasn't until after the film, anticipation was building, and it was a huge success. And I went, oh shit, we got to greenlight all these other things and stuff. And now you hear all this behind the scenes issue, apparently with the third film, allegedly scrapping it. Maybe, I don't know. But it's just like, Jesus Christ. So even when Sony has a success, they manage to fuck it up anyway. Again, Sony's just one of those companies that, much in the same case of like Lucasfilm, for example, that needs to be fucking gutted. Like, I make fun of it, but it's true. Avi Arad is a disgusting albatross that has been hanging on Spider-Man's neck for decades, for years, long before they even did the movies. And he needs to be removed from this, and he won't be. He won't be. And listen, Sony's never going to sell the Spider-Man license back to Marvel. They make too much money from them. And if I was Sony, I wouldn't do it either. But they got to do better. And they just have no incentive to do better. And that's what's so frustrating. Until these failures, I guess. But I don't know. We'll see, chap. We'll see. Do you think they're going to put Kraven back at Theory So Goodbye again? Yeah, we were joking about that earlier. I don't think they're going to pull a Morbius. People are going to be clowning on this movie for a while. It's like I've already seen some of the things trending now with the hilarious line of my grandmother died and I never saw her again. Delivered by Oscar winner Ariana DeBoo. Secret Agent Aunt May. That was actually going to happen. Secret Agent Aunt May. That's right. That's right. Sony actually had sense. They could have done a Black Cat movie who was an actual anti-hero. Yeah, like that. If they had, now is the last thing I want them to do. But yes, if they want to do an anti-hero movie, sure. Or if they just want to do villain films, they could have just done that, but they don't have the fucking balls. They don't have the balls to do it. They don't have the intelligence to do it. They don't want to put in the effort to get people that understand these characters. They don't give a shit. They want to put out product, have people consume product, and put out next product and make more money. That's what it is. Well, I understand Avi and James Gunn do get along, but, do not get along, and they butt heads the entire time. I'm sure. Whatever project they were working on. Yeah. Avi Arad has a horrible reputation in Hollywood. Like, he is not liked. He's not liked. I can't wait for the horror stories to come out about him, especially from Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who had to interact with him throughout a lot of their projects. I'm sure they got fucking doozies, But, they don't want to fucking, burn bridges and I understand that and ruin stuff for themselves, but we'll see. We'll see.